Welcome to Aurillac Live. Today we're speaking with salon owner, founder of Fastfoils, and my good friend, Ben Barkworth. Hey, Ben.
Hey, how are you today?
Great. How are you?
Amazing. Trying to stay warm up here in Toronto, but no, doing really well, thanks.
Yeah, for sure. Now, you have so many things on the go these days. You have your salon, Just Be Salon, and you have Fastfoils, which is a really innovative, very cool invention. Why don't you tell us a little bit about your salon and then about Fastfoils?
Sure, yeah. So, creative director and owner of Just Be Salon in Toronto on Queen Street. We have been open for 8.5 years now, which is crazy to think that we're nearly hitting 10 years. And we are a inclusive salon. Our motto is be bold, be brave, be beautiful, just be. So it's a place that's open to however you identify. And our job at the salon is to make you feel your best inside and out, and curated from the moment you walk in to the moment you leave to make you feel runway ready, and make your hair bounce on the way out.
Yeah, so I've been fortunate enough to have a Ben Barkworth experience since we are neighbors, and I really love your salon. It's very chic and cool, and it's a great Leslieville spot. So you created something really genius called Fastfoils. Tell us about that.
Yeah, so Fastfoils is a high performance hair foil that will protect hair health. Our number one priority at Fastfoils is making sure we're protecting the integrity of the hair. And Fastfoils are an ultra black coated foil that have endothermic properties that will help speed up the processing time by a minimum of 25%, while also protecting the integrity of the hair and able to achieve a higher, more consistent, even level of lift. And I was working at London Fashion Week in 2018, and as most hairstylists do all day, every day, even on their days off, I was wearing black backstage, and I just remember just being super hot, and I was like, why do we do this to ourselves? Now, obviously, there's lots of reasons why we do this, to fit into the background. And anybody that's worked at London Fashion Week or a Fashion Week or seen videos know how busy it is backstage. And, there isn't much room, and you've got all the tools and all the people, makeup, photography, designers, models. And it was just, it's crazy back there. And it's a lot of fun, but very warm. And it just came to me like a light went off, and I was just like, this is warm because black will attract heat. And I was like, would it be possible to be able to manufacture a high performance foil that is endothermic with properties built into the foil that will help absorb warmth from a warm environment surrounding the foil? Because we all know when a color or is in endothermic state, it will help speed up that processing time. So that's where the concept came from.
Yeah, wow, I didn't even know that. That's very cool, and that totally makes sense, right? I mean, that's why we wear white in the summer to keep the heat away. So you have actually colored my hair with these foils, and I think it's great because as a blonde, you're always so concerned about damage, right? So what does this do in terms of helping with damage or especially blonde hair?
Yeah, so Fastfoils was designed for lightening services. And we all know as colorists, when you're doing a lighting service, the only really way to speed up processing time is to bump up the developer. Now, when you're bumping up the developer, what that's doing is opening up the cuticle, removing the melanin, and it's actually dying off slower than you want it to. So we all know slow and steady wins the race. So the way we like to describe Fastfoils is slow and steady in the fast lane. And we celebrate using 10 volume and 20 volume for true 9 levels of lift. And with Fastfoils, when it's in that endothermic state, we will get a minimum of 25% faster processing time. But our number one priority while doing that is to make sure that we have that hair health and protecting the integrity. So when we're doing our lifting services, we're only using lower developer, which will allow us to protect the integrity of the hair.
Yeah, and that's amazing for the clients too, because no one wants to sit in the chair for 5 hours, really. If it's going to speed up the service, that's just a great benefit of having a service using this.
Yeah.
Now, I know it's been quite a journey. You're a young entrepreneur. You're doing this endeavor. It's a big deal. I know you're working with Europe, and you've got a lot of things on the go. So you want to tell us a little bit about how things got rolling and where you are now with this?
Yeah, I mean, we started off with the concept, then we did research and development, then we did product testing. So that took about a year. And, we started in the basement of Just Be Salon, and, we were direct to consumer for the first 2 years. And if we wanted to grow, we wanted to be able to expand our portfolio and expand our reach to stylists and salons. So in 2022, we actually expanded and changed our manufacturing facility so we could be readily available across North America. And we also have expanded our portfolio because we all started with our pre-cuts. So we started with a 5x7 and a 5x12 pre-cut format. Then we expanded into a more efficient foil, which was an 8x10 pre-cut. So you get to cover more ground in less time. So your install gets more efficient when you're using a wider foil. And then you get your speeded up processing time by the endothermic technology within the foil. And then last year, we expanded to all the roll lovers. And now we are available in a 5-inch, 5-pound roll. This month, we are launching a 1-pound, 5-inch roll. And we also have the widest roll in the market. So we have an 8-inch wide roll. So you think about maximum efficiency and maximum length. If you're doing an open air exposure, or if you're doing a balayage and you need to incubate in between those sections to be able to achieve those higher levels of lift that we desire, we can now do that with this extra wide foil. And in our education program that we have, we showcase how to use all of our different portfolio pieces and how we can be most efficient behind the chair.
Yeah, I think that's great too, because you came up with different sizes, because especially with balayage and with the trend of such long hair right now, that's a little bit of a challenge to try and pre-cut and figure out sizes. And that also speeds up the process, right? Which is part of the speeding up of the service that you're doing using it.
Yeah, and what's amazing with the wide portfolio is that there's needs for all of those different sizes and all of those different roles. But when it gets back to what you were just saying about the guest experience, no one wants to be sitting in the salon. No one has time to be sitting in the salon for 3 to 4 hours. Mm-hmm. If we can provide a premium service by protecting the hair health, but also getting your guests in and out faster, you're providing a premium service to them. But for the salon and for the stylist, you can also generate more revenue because you can see more clients in the same working time, or you can get freedom and have a bit more of a work-life balance by still generating the same revenue that you're used to.
Yeah, it's a win all around. Good job. The other thing too that I mean, you're a young guy, and here you are creating something really significant for the industry. I mean, you got to think about at some point you're not going to be behind the chair your entire life, right? So it's great to have sell your services, like that's your one-on-one. You're selling your time for money, but somewhere down the road, if you build something that you can sell, then that's creating more of a lifestyle and hopefully an empire.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's potentially the big picture of Fastfoils, but right now I'm here, I work behind the chair 3 days a week still. And it's to create tools to help stylists work smarter, not harder behind the chair. But yeah, to create an empire and to create a business that you can rely on later down the road as an entrepreneur is definitely a huge aspect for sure.
Right. I mean, you must love being behind the chair. What is your favorite things about owning your salon and having your team and being behind the chair?
Yeah, I mean, I get asked all the time if I had to choose one or the other, and I really don't think I can leave behind the chair. I love what I do. I love to be able to help people look and feel their best. I like to be creative. Obviously, there's lots of different avenues within our industry that we can get that creative outlet. But they didn't teach business in hair school. And that is what I went to school for. And that's what my passion is. And yeah, there's just something about being able to create different shapes, different patterns and placements that highlight the features that we want to be creating as a stylist behind the chair. So I love it. I love going into the salon every day, and I wouldn't replace it for the world.
Yeah. Tell us about your team. I know you do a little bit of back and forth between LA and Toronto with Jay Ladner, and he's working with you as well. How did that whole thing come about?
Yeah, so our team at Fastfoils, we're a smaller company. So I have the great opportunity of working with my partner. So he's joined our team full time. And he's also been running Just Be Salon, B-Side Beauty with me over the past 8.5 years. So now Rom's with us. Then we have Jay Ladner, who's our director of education, that has helped me build this intense, beautiful, incredible education package that we're actually taking on the road this year and expanding that education portfolio. We are one of the first foil companies to come out with an intense, in-depth color placement, color patterns education program. And that's going to be what we're bringing as the Fastfoils tour this year, which we can talk on a little bit more. And then we have some great ambassadors and influencers, part of our education and creative team as well. And then, working with our education team, it's just been a blessing to be able to bring different opportunities to stylists, once again, about teaching them how to work smarter and not harder behind the chair. And the education is just so important because I find as a younger leader in the industry, it's going to be up to my generation to continue that education for future stylists, and also to inspire artists that are in the generation before me, because we do start to plateau. We do start to get into that robotic placements and that robotic cut. So I think when we're continuing education, it's super important because we are inspiring everyone in the industry to be able to push your boundaries and then try something new.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, things are always changing. We are a creative group of people, so really, it's a matter of your art, your artistic flair, the way you like to do things. But when you're educated and you see like a different perspective and a different point of view and a different product, that just opens up a whole new world of concepts and ideas.
Yeah, and Fastballs is going to be going on tour, as I mentioned, this year, which is when we're going to be bringing icons and legends together on the same stage and providing a unique education experience where you get to see legends that we've worked with and been watching for years, and then the new icons of the industry that have maybe a different perspective. And we want to be able to showcase that, because at Fastflows, we can work with everyone, and we want to make sure that everyone is welcome in the Fastflows community as well.
Yes, and so does that mean you're doing a tour, like going to all the shows in the US, or are you sticking to North America? Where is this happening, or do you have a schedule already for this year?
So we're working with our partners and the artists, so we're solidifying the schedule, but we will be doing across North America for 2024. So we're going to have key dates, which is going to be our own education events that we will be doing select tour dates in the US and in Canada. But then you also will be able to find Fastfalls and our education team at the large shows in the US this year.
Right. Sounds like it's going to be a busy year for you. I mean, it took some time to get things happening and to the point where like, okay, now we're good to go. Let's go full steam ahead. Let's market it. Let's educate. Let's get it out there. It's been a real whirlwind. Do you have any suggestions to somebody who wants to start their own brand like this? Like, is there anything that you'd say don't do this, or is there like some things that you'd say definitely do this?
Yeah, I mean, it's tricky. So be prepared for sleepless nights. Um, just honestly, like it's about concept. I've learned a lot along the way, what to do and what not to do. Keep your secrets tight. Keep your thoughts between you, and then always sign NDAs with people. That if you are going to be trying to create a concept or innovation, you want to make sure that that's under lock and key until you're ready to go to market. But when you're doing your whiteboard, I mean, there was several days, I still use my whiteboard all the time, about drawing out that path and making sure that you're surrounded by the right people, that you're building the right team, because you can't do this by yourself. You want to make sure that you're talking to your mentors. I mean, I still call my mentors on a monthly, weekly basis. And making sure I'm surrounded by the right people, I think, is the number one thing. And you make sure you're doing your research so that you are creating innovation, and then that you're not copying something, or that you're making a difference when it comes to technology and innovation, for sure.
Yeah, when it comes to creating something new for the industry, it's very hard to come up with something new just because there's so much already out there. But when it is and it hits, it's just like it's a game changer, right? So if you can really come up with something new and innovative that is really going to be adopted by everybody, then I think you have a winner.
Yeah, and it's you if you're going to be in, you need to go all in. And you can't put your foot in the pond and test the waters. You've really got to set yourself up for success. Journal. There's just so much that goes into it, and it's evolving every day. And I've caught myself on the back foot a few times. And honestly, one thing that I've learned, because I do so much in all the arenas, if it's fashion week, if it's the hair shows, if it's building a brand, owning a salon, creative director, photo shoots, is taking time for yourself. Mental health is extremely important. Taking that time to go to the gym, taking that time to be able to journal at the end of the day. These are all really important things to be able to do for yourself, especially if you're pushing your boundaries on how busy you're going to be.
Yeah, that's a very good point. It's something that I feel a lot of stylists can suffer from burnout just because their wheels are spinning, they're behind the chair, they're super busy. It's a very energy draining, like energy giving, but energy draining because you're constantly giving all day. So very true that you need to step back and give yourself that self care, which is amazing. So you're shooting still? Are you so you did a photo shoot for your brand, of course, and you're still shooting for certain award programs, or how's that going for you?
Yeah, I always like to shoot at least once a year to create a collection for the multiple awards that we actually entered one last night for the International Hair Awards. And so I continually try to push my boundaries when it comes to that. I really enjoy shooting men's hair collections. It's always been a passion of mine. Last year, I was the Canadian Hair Stylist of the Year for the Contessas, which has been amazing. And I just entered my 10th year with them, and I was a finalist this year. I have a photo shoot coming up at the end of the month, and we just released our collection for the Fastfoils creative team, which has been picked up as well. I just think it's a great opportunity to enter a different part of that creativity side of your brain. Allows a bit more freedom, flexibility, and I love putting the collection together.
Yeah, well, it must be a lot of fun calling the shots in terms of the brand and how it looks, and just putting together the team and the concept and like the whole creative direction of the shoot itself, because you're creating this brand, so the visuals really need to identify with your brand. Do you have like a vibe or a feeling or a concept for when you're shooting for yourself and for your brand?
For myself, I've always been inspired by the UK. Because I was originally born in England and moved to Toronto when I was 10. I've always just had this connection to, especially in the 90s. I loved the 90s, 80s. So I always kind of reach to see what the UK is doing. I love to shoot in black and white when it comes to my men's collections, because you get a bit more depth, you get a bit more contrast. And I usually start storyboarding about 3 months out prior to the shoot. And then, when you were on Instagram, you get inspiration. I always kind of put into a folder of what I like. When I'm going through magazines, I'll rip pages out. I still love hard copy magazines to be able to do that. So yeah. And then when it comes to the collections of Fastfoils, being the creative director for the shoots, yeah, absolutely. We've got to be forecasting what the trends are going to be. We always title one of our shoots with a specific city from around the world that we think is inspiring. We did the 90210 for LA. For our London look, we used the postal code for the original radio record company for Oasis, because I thought that was really cool for the 90s. So we like to do something different as well, but it always trend forecasting, obviously wardrobe, but with it being fastball focused, it obviously has to be showing different patterns and placements and making sure that we're highlighting what the company is doing.
Yes. And are you doing some runway stuff? I know you've done some in the past. You're working with Electric London as well. I mean, that must be also a really great experience.
Yeah, so I'm an ambassador, a Canadian ambassador for Electric London, and I work very closely with Mark Woolley. So we're going to be doing a electric session coming up in the next couple of weeks in Toronto, and I work very closely with the Electric team, and we're actually going to be doing a photo shoot with him, myself, and a great celebrity stylist artist in Toronto. So that's super exciting as well. And Fashion Week, I am on hold for London Fashion Week for this year for 3 shows. So we're just confirming the details on that.
Wow, all super fun, exciting, creative things. You're always on the move. I'm always like, where's Ben? It's like, where's Waldo? But where's Ben now?
Yeah, it takes some organizing with the schedule, that's for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. You are all over the place. You are traveling a lot. You're doing all your creative things with everything you do. I always find that's amazing, and I love that you're doing that. How about, like, if someone young in the industry wants to do something beyond the chair? Do you have any suggestions? Like, what would you say to somebody who's like ready to step out and just create a brand or a product?
Yeah, I mean, first of all, I think it's such a tight community. I would say reach out to the people that you look up to the people that you're inspired by. Find mentors. If it's doing runways, if it's doing editorial, if it's doing education, if it's doing platform work. So find those people that inspire you, follow them, reach them out on DM. The industry is very open to helping the rest of the industry. So I'd say that's your number one thing, is to, have that mentor, because I wouldn't be where I am today without the mentors that I've had and still have. And I still reach out to them, like I said, on a weekly and monthly basis. So if it wasn't for them, I wouldn't be where I am and where I've gotten over the past 15 years.
I 100% agree. I think to be under somebody's wing and to be inspired by somebody, for them to give you advice because they've been there, done that, it is a really important part of the journey in order to have success.
I mean, it's an incredible industry, and I've had the amazing opportunity to work with my mentors, Charlie Price, Mark Woolley, John Taccone. All of these guys have groomed me to who I am today, and and I mentor a lot of stylists as well. So I like to give back to the industry, and I think it is super important, and it's part of our responsibility as leaders and mentors in the industry to give back as well.
Yes, I agree with you. That's a great thing for young stylists to know, that they're not alone, and to reach out to our industry because we're receptive, and we want to give back. And I
Sure.
see that about our industry for sure.
And I think that we just need to make that even tighter as leaders and mentors, to be able to do a mentor program, or if someone does reach out, for those mentors that are out there, follow back with those people that DM you, because they are reaching out for guidance, and I think it's a great opportunity and to give back, and it also fills your cup too.
Yes, sure does. So, Ben, where can we find you? Like, where can we know where you're at next, and where will we find Fastfoils?
Yep. So Fastfoils are available across North America in distribution, and also available on fastfoils.ca. All of our education is for free on demand. We host virtual education every 3 weeks for free on Mondays, 1 p.m. Eastern Central Time, and we're showcasing with different guest artists. So once again, all of our education is for free. All of our product and portfolio is available through fastfoils.ca. As of next month, we are going to be available in the UK and in Italy, which is part of our global expansion for this year. You can follow us on Instagram at Fastfoils. And all of my information is available on barkworth.ca. You can see all my collections over the past 10 years. And where I will be and my tour dates will also be available on those websites. And my Instagram handle is Ben_Barkworth.
I love it. Well, thank you so much, Ben on tour. I can't wait to see all the exciting things that you're up to this year, and really happy to connect with you and catch up and hear about all the awesome things that are happening.
Thank you so much for having me on today. It's been a pleasure. Great to catch up with you as always. And so keep an eye out to where we're going to be over the next year.
I will for sure. Thanks a lot, Ben.
Hey, thank you so much.